Hey, thanks for stopping by today. I've got some Father's Day gifts that I need to do, and we're going to do some work on these JDS Leatherette tumblers. One thing that's a little bit different with these tumblers is they've got a seam in the middle of the cup. And most of the time when you're doing your layout, you don't have to worry about any kind of a seam. It's similar to a cup with a handle on it. I'm going to show you how I lay these out, and we'll see how they turn out. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this tumbler. I've already measured the diameter, and it's at 3.46 inches. I've measured the face of this, and it's right at 4 inches. That's basically from edge to edge, including the stitching. So our design is going to have to fit a lot less than that. The other thing that you'll notice is on the back side of this, you've got a seam. So we've got to allow for that in our design to make sure that we don't put our design right in the middle of this stitching, and I'll show you how I do it. There's a lot of different ways you can do your layouts. This is just the way I do it. So we've got our parameters. Let's go to the computer and start to lay this out. Okay, so now that we've got our cup dimensions, we're going to come in here to Tools. I've got my Rotary enabled. Come down here to Rotary Setup. You'll notice that I've got 3.46 inches for my object diameter. It automatically calculates your circumference. That's 10.86. So in that particular case, I've got a rectangle that's 10.86 high. Got to remember that our design is vertical now. And we've got a width of 4 inches, which is the width of the cup face. Okay. One thing I've done also that is very handy is in my art library under tumbler templates, I've got a number of different templates, just basically rectangles that are ready to go, so I don't have to worry about remeasuring those. Okay, so I've got my template laid out with the proper dimensions. I've got a Father's Day design here for one of my customers. And the way I lay this out is I will click on my design, and it tells me I'm just a little bit over 3 inches, which is just about right for one of these tumblers. And so if you take that 3.12 times 2, because you're going to have the same design opposing each other, you take that total amount minus the 10.86. And then you divide that by 2 because you have a space here and a space here. So if you take that, it comes out to 2.306 spacing. So what I normally do is I just generate a rectangle that's 2.306 high, and I'll come down here. You'll have your design lined up at the bottom here. Then your little spacing rectangle goes there, touches the other spot. Then I also just take this just to verify that all my corrections my math is right. I make sure that it fits on the other side. So now I know that my layout's correct. The other thing that I make sure that I do is that I use user origin and I use job origin in the middle of this layout. One of the things I will tell you that I found out is if for some reason you take these things that you're not actually printing out and you put them over here, it messes up your origin. So everything that you're going to want to do, just as your notes or templates or anything that you're not actually going to print or engrave, keep it on the right side with these settings that you have here, and you'll be good. So now I know I've got my design evenly spaced. The next thing we've got to figure out is, okay, we've got a seam on that Leatherette tumbler. And what I want, with this space being 2.3 inches from here to here, I want that seam to be right in the middle between those two logos. And so if you take that 2.3, divide it in half, you're looking at 1.15. So when I set this up in the Rotary, and I know where my origin is, which is going to be right here, I'm going to measure over and make sure that my seam is just a little over 1 inch. And that way I know I don't ever have to worry about this design being in the middle of this seam. So let's go ahead and get the tumbler set up, and I'll show you how I do that, and we'll get it burnt. Okay, this is a Thunder Laser Nova 24. I'm using the low roller Rotoboss Rotary. It's a great product. And you'll notice that I've got the tumbler in there and I've got it leveled. Just show you that. Okay, so we're all level. Next, we'll go ahead and make sure we can set focus on the laser and set our origin. Okay, now I've got the tumbler is in the rotary, it's level, the laser's focused. I've set my origin right at the point between the stainless and the leather. And then what I've done is I've rotated the cup counterclockwise so this seam is about 1.1 inches or so back towards you away from the origin. And that way I know that this seam right here will be between the two designs. All right, let's take a quick look at this tumbler. You can see that we've got Best Dad Ever in the leather. What a great Father's Day gift. The designs are opposing. You're good on your leather. Might be just a little bit off, but you get the idea. Anyway, turned out great. Hey, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, when you're looking at these YouTube videos, you know, it looks so easy, but as we all know as makers, there's a lot of trial and error involved in a lot of this stuff. And I thought I'd just show you this cup. This was me trying to get the settings dialed in for this Leatherette. And you can see that the suggested settings were way too much. And eventually, you know, I started to get it close. That was a little better, but it still looked pretty rough. And then I started to get it better, and then pretty soon I hit the sweet spot and recorded it. So it's one of those deals where you're gonna ruin some cups to get this right, but certainly well worth it once you get it dialed in. Well, there you have it. That's how I lay out a tumbler with a seam involved. I hope this video was helpful. Father's Day is coming up, so happy Father's Day to everybody. As always, like and subscribe. Have a great day.